Dakota, find yourself back here with the Marlies. Can you describe just how it all comes to happen? Because you aren't actually in Utah at this point when you get the call.
Yeah, it was. The last 72 hours have been crazy. Kind of to come full circle and end up back here. We were in Calgary, flying to Dallas at the time, and I was on the plane. We were coming out when I found out Toronto reclaimed me, and so I had a 4-hour flight. I was stuck on the plane with the team to get to Dallas. Immediately went to the switched airports in Dallas. Flew back to Salt Lake that night. So had about 7 hours on the plane that day. Packed up my stuff and got about 4 hours of sleep, and I was back at the airport, flying back to Toronto. So trying to kind of regroup, and my family's been, my wife and my kids have just been saints through the whole thing. It certainly has not been an easy journey for them these last little bit, but they're here, and we're trying to just kind of get our life back in order now.
Do you get a chance to settle anywhere here in the last year, it seems?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if "settle" is the right word. I mean, we've gotten in and out of a few places, but we're hopeful now that this is kind of an opportunity to actually get settled and again, kind of start my season in a weird way. So it's good to be back in Toronto.
Well, lots of praise from both Logan Shaw and Alex Steeves about having you back in with the Marlies. And what was your experience? Short time last time, but of this crew and this hockey team.
It was great. I mean, it's a very close, a close group, which is really fun. It's in that week I was here before, it's you can tell the just kind of the energy that the room has, and the positive energy and the positivity and good leadership. Really strong leadership, starting with Shawzy. So it's exciting. Like I stayed in touch with a lot of the guys while I was gone, and didn't know if this would kind of come about. And then when I learned that this could be a possibility, and then it happened to be reclaimed, it's exciting because you're going somewhere familiar that you were just at.
Now you have one of the highlight moments. You probably don't know this, but you have one of the highlight moments of the year. Halfway through a game, I don't think I've ever seen this before. A player all of a sudden decides to shed the bubble and go back to wearing the visor. And I just thought, I know we talked about it maybe at the time for just a brief moment, but just looking back on that and just what message that might have sent to the rest of the crew that the kind of player you are. What was that like?
More than anything, that was just for me to try to be comfortable on the ice. I had told the surgeon and to their advice that they thought I should wear that to start with the medical staff. So I wore it the first game, and then halfway through that second game, I just wasn't comfortable on the ice. My jaw felt pretty good at that time, so I felt comfortable enough to take it off and kind of get my vision back. Easier to stick handle, easier to move around on the ice when you can see better. So for me, it was time. I was ready to get back into real hockey, and that was the first step for me.
Obviously, we're very happy to have him back. Everyone wants to play in the NHL, but for him and his family, I'm sure stability is a nice thing as well. So we're looking forward to having him back. I think just his presence on the ice, but also his presence in the locker room to help out, the other young guys and who he plays with. So we're very thankful to have him, but it'd be nice for him to get in a couple games.
Also, that move that he takes the bubble off halfway through a game and decides, that's it. I'm going in a different direction today. That speaks a lot to the guy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I played with, a cage or a bubble on for a couple of games, and it's hard. It's tough it's just a change, right? It's a big change. You don't think you grew up your whole life playing with it, but once you go back to it, it's hard to adjust. But he thought it was going to help his hands a little bit. I don't know if that's the case, but no, it's tough. He's obviously, he grinds, he plays hard. He does everything right, so it's nice to have him back.
It's massive. When we lost him, we all, wished him the best, but selfishly wondered if we ever might get him back. It was hard at the beginning of the year with his jaw and everything, kind of not being around our group a ton, but just in interactions in preseason and then the brief time he was with us, you can tell he's such an unbelievable guy, and a guy who it won't take him long to become a big part of our team off the ice and in the locker room. And then on the ice, obviously, he's world class. I think he was in the NHL for most of the year last year. Probably going to find his way back there eventually, and we can benefit from having guys like Dakota Mermis in more aspects than one. So we're very excited.
John, first time of the year you guys have lost 3 in a row. Do you see any trends that you want to address?
Well, we're not scoring goals. We spent a lot of time today focusing on the habits in the O zone. Our D zone habits are good, but we can't rely on our goalies to shut every team out. We have to get a little bit more hungrier, and I saw it today in practice. Hopefully it carries over to the game tomorrow.
When you address kind of those trends that you're not scoring enough, what are the things, who you're relying on to change that narrative?
Well, we need everyone to do it. You can't. It's hard to score in this league. It's hard to score in any league. So you got to collectively do it as a group. You got to do it as a 5-man unit. Not one guy can do it on his own. Puck's got to move a little quicker. Shots got to get through a little quicker. Guys got to get to the front of that a little quicker. Everything just has to happen a little faster. Once that starts to happen, good things will.
Dakota Mermis comes back. What do you see? What did you see in the short time he was here?
Well, he's fits in like a lot of our other leadership, where he comes to work every day. He's consistent. I'm sure he'd like to be in the National Hockey League, but he understands that he's here to help younger players develop, and at the end of the day, try to help us win some games too, to where it's a much better environment.